This is the network administration course. We have divided into two main parts: network technician and centralized administration. Under network technician, we'll be learning all hardware and software requirements and how to interconnect network devices and troubleshooting. So we have to have very good understanding about the basic network setup before heading to centralized administration. Under network technician, network basics, hardware and software. Under hardware, we'll be learning all necessary hardware devices in depth: network type, bandwidth, standard, cable type, function of hub, switch, purpose of these devices, difference between these devices. We should be able to differentiate between switch and router. What is the purpose of router, how to use it. All these things we need to learn in depth, because this is the base to implement any kind of network system. Under software, mainly we'll be focusing on operating system. There are different types of platforms. Here we are concentrating on Windows. Once you come to serve operating system, there are editions. There are multiple licensing model and the client's access license. So we have to have very good understanding, since for virtualization a different kind of licensing model is used. So we have to have a very good clear picture about these licensing models, editions and features. We should be able to differentiate these editions, when to use and what's the purpose. So we'll be learning all in detail here. Whatever the network device you connect to network system, we need to enable client software. Example, if it is a Microsoft client for Microsoft should be enabled. By default it is enabled, but we need to clearly understand the basic requirement to connect a computer to a network system. Then we have to have very good understanding about these terms: network access method. Even after completing HND and UG in networking, students having difficulty in understanding about this access method. No clear picture about this access method. So we have to have very clear picture about this access method, network standard and the topology. Once you come to this topology, mostly concentrating about physical. We need to understand logical as well. Physical, what we see; logical, the communication method used inside the network system. So we have to have very good understanding. Then we'll be putting these two together, and there are different types of network topology. We have to have very clear picture about these topologies. Then based on scale, not only LAN MAN, we need to understand SDN as well, software defined network. This is the new concept. Even Cisco implement a new examination as well. So we have to have very good understanding about these network types. Then architecture, we have to have very clear picture about the architecture and the topology. Topology, how we are arranging the network nodes, network devices within the network system. If it is a wired, nowadays we will be using a centralized switch. From switch we connect all devices using network cable. Then we are calling it as a tree topology, star topology. Architecture is how the communication model is implemented. Topology may be star. We can implement architecture as peer-to-peer, client-server or domain-based. Domain-based is a centralized user management. Again, we need to understand a client-server and domain-based. Most of the time, client-server model is introduced as a domain-based, but that is not true. Domain-based is a bit advanced than the client-server. So therefore, we have to have very good understanding about peer-to-peer, client-server and the domain-based. And we should be able to provide clear picture about what is server. In my experience, most of the times, even professionals, when defining the server, they are focusing only one line. So this is very crucial. We have to have a very clear picture about the server based on hardware, based on software, based on services. Because if the basic topics are not clearly understood, then advanced topic and implementation get complicated. So therefore, the base is very, very important. Mainly the clear understanding is very important. Therefore, all these areas will be covered in detail. The virtualization will be using Microsoft Hyper-V, certain advanced features than a virtual box. So therefore, in network virtualization, here we will be using Hyper-V. Practically, we will be implementing a virtual network system using Hyper-V. And the PowerShell, it's a very powerful tool. It's very useful tool. So we need to understand how to use these PowerShell commands and script. Most of the time we can automate tasks using PowerShell. Therefore, certain programs we can write it in PowerShell and keep. Once you just run the file, all these tasks will automatically start functioning. So therefore, this is also very crucial point here. We have to have very good understanding about the PowerShell. Then we will be moving to centralized network administration. So network administration is divided into two parts: centralized network administration and server management. These two comes under network administration, and the network technician will be learning everything needed to implement a functional network system. So here we will be learning all required concept related to centralized network administration. We will be covering everything in depth. So once you complete the network administration course, you can implement industry standard network system on your own. Centralized management is very, very important. That is the main reason we have divided into separate parts. So we have to have very clear picture about how to manage the network, how the centralized administration is implemented. Then we will be learning separately server administration, how these servers are administered. All these servers will be learning and implementing in detail. Then management services, there are two main management services we need to consider here: printer management and disk management. Here we will be learning everything about printer management, many services to be covered here, so we will be doing in detail. Practically we will be implementing these two management services. So after completing server administration, you can enroll in CompTIA N+. This is globally recognized certification. Once you complete the network administration, you will have very clear picture about the networking. Certain areas will be covering beyond the N+, but certain areas will be covering here specifically under N+ syllabus. So therefore this procedure is very important. Straight away you can't do this N+ course, because most of the time what happens, we directly focus on examination. Passing examination is easy. After you certified, you should be able to solve real world problems. This is the main issue. So therefore we are mainly concerning about skill development as well. Definitely you can pass the exam, but skill development only very, very important. Then it is very clear. Now these are the things we will be covering in network administration. So once you complete network administration course, definitely you can implement industry standard network system on your own, and if you wish, you can enroll in CompTIA N+. You can obtain globally recognized CompTIA N+ certification. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.